And this is certainly our big story for you throughout most of the day. The inquest into the killing of renowned human rights lawyer Griffiths Mxenge set to be reopened at the Pietermaritzburg High Court today. Mxenge was brutally murdered in Umlazi, that's in the south of Durban, back in 1981. While 3 former members of the apartheid-era Vlakplaas security police were eventually implicated and faced trial, they were granted amnesty by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission before any sentencing was handed down. Watching the story is a full news team involving our SABC News reporter Simphiwe Makhanya, who's standing by now at the High Court in Pietermaritzburg. And Simphiwe, this is an important story to revisit, of course, especially given just how many unanswered questions there still are around the deaths of these prominent figures.
Absolutely, Ayanda, and of course the families of the 2 leaders that are concerned in this particular inquest, I'm talking about the Luthuli family as well as the Mxenge family, are very, very excited with these developments. Of course, they have been calling, for answers in terms of what really, happened when the 2 leaders were killed under very mysterious circumstances. As I speak to you, Ayanda, a number of ANC leaders have started arriving here at the Pietermaritzburg High Court. I've seen also just ordinary members of the ANC making their way inside the court. But let's welcome now the ANC spokesperson, Mxenge, just to get a sense of the reaction from the ANC with regards to what is expected to unfold here today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. The ANC and all our allied organizations are quite heartened by the decision of the National Prosecuting Authority to reopen the inquest into the deaths of the former President General of the ANC, Chief Albert Luthuli, who died under very mysterious circumstances, this is heartening. The second one being Griffiths Mxenge, an activist of note, a lawyer, a progressive lawyer of note, who trained a lot of those who were in the legal profession, and also ensured that the legal profession is also imbued with a sense of struggle, a sense of consciousness about what was going on in the country at the time.
The Truth and Reconciliation, of course, did look into some of the matters that pertain to what transpired, but there have been questions with regards to how they handled the investigations. Some have criticized the TRC. What is the position of the ANC?
Well, I think it will be irresponsible for me to criticize the TRC. The TRC did the work that it did. Most certainly, there are many families who felt that closure was not realized because some of the cases were not handled perhaps in an ideal manner. But I think we should respect the work that was done by the TRC. Now our system allows for reopening of inquests. We believe that the Luthuli family, the Mxenge families, are going to find closure once this gets underway and comes to some conclusions, whatever the conclusions are going to be. We're heartened that this is happening in our lifetime, where we had Chief Albert Luthuli, Inkosi, a churchman, and a Nobel laureate, and one of the very first actually to receive the Nobel Peace Prize in South Africa, later on to be followed by Desmond Tutu, Nelson Mandela. So we are really talking about an icon of note in our liberation struggle and in the struggle to realize a national democratic society in South Africa. When talking about Griffiths Mxenge, there are many people who are going to be testifying during the inquest. We will be able to hear from those that worked very closely and were influenced by the teachings and the conduct of Griffiths Mxenge, who was brutally killed. And of course, somebody came forward, I think Nofemela came forward, but some evidence, according to the NPA, has come to the fore, suggesting that there needs to be a opening of the inquest.
Of course, there are many other families, Mxenge, that perhaps are still seeking for answers, who lost their family members during the apartheid regime. What is the position of the ANC with regards to those families who are still seeking for answers?
As the ANC, we believe that any family that has been negatively affected by certain outcomes of the TRC, for example, are at liberty and should be supported to be able to explore further avenues around the disappearances, the deaths, and so on of their loved ones. It's a very difficult thing. I think for Africans, more important, because you will never find closure unless you see the bones or you see where the bones are lying. And I do believe that it's important for us to have a peaceful society and a happy society. It's important that we deal with the pain that some of the families, have endured.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
That's Mxenge, who speaks on behalf of the ANC outside the Pietermaritzburg High Court, Ayanda, just really reflecting on what is expected to happen in terms of the inquest, and also talking about some of the families who still seek answers in terms of the disappearance of their loved ones as well as the deaths of their loved ones. Of course, we're expecting the proceedings to start here at around 10 o'clock, Ayanda, but of course we will also be speaking to the concerned family members who are expected to arrive here shortly. Ayanda, it's over to you in studio for now.
Well, absolutely. And in fact, our program will be peppered with analysis and the build-up to that moment at 10 o'clock. But for now, Simphiwe Makhanya, live to us there from just outside the High Court in Pietermaritzburg. Thanks very much indeed.